Does the Lego Movie 2 live up to the creativity of its predecessor, or do you leave the theater feeling like it's a cold, dead husk?
Well, in this episode of Straight Razor in the Theater, we're going to see if the Lego Movie 2 master builds the hype.
Damn, slam dunk. So yeah, no, we went to go see the Lego Movie 2 on Friday on the day of release, and to be honest, I did have my reservations. I was kind of afraid that the creativity was going to be lost, carrying it over with a sequel. I kind of thought maybe they were going to start overdoing it. I mean, they had the Ninjago movie and they had the Lego Batman movie. The Lego Batman movie was really good. I didn't see the Ninjago one, but I was just kind of afraid that this one wasn't going to really live up to the hype, so to speak.
Yeah, and I can understand where that hesitation would come from, because this isn't the first time that Lego has done movies, obviously.
Oh, yeah, no, obviously, yeah, but nothing to, this huge or, this expansive, really.
Yeah, all the others were CG, made for TV or direct-to-DVD or VHS giveaways and whatnot.
Nothing to the expanse of, big, huge, theatrical releases.
Yeah, exactly. It was more so just promos hey, we've got a new Lego line. Why don't you check it out?
Right.
But this actually bothers with a story like the first one, so a little bit of a different ball field.
Oh, yeah. And I was happy to see that the creativity wasn't really lost in the big, giant mess of a story. And I don't mean that in, a negative way. I mean that in a very good way. The story really is all over the place. There's a lot going on, but essentially that's what makes the Lego Movie, the series, what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So before we go any further, just go ahead and slap on spoiler alert. If you want to go see the Lego Movie 2 with nothing spoiled for you, you don't want to know anything about what it's about, click off this video, go see it, come back, hang out with us, join the discussion.
Yeah, if we were to spoil this movie for anyone who wanted to see it out of curiosity,
that'd be a crying shame.
Yeah, it'd be worse than stepping on a Lego.
So, in this film, it takes place, 5 years after Taco Tuesday, I believe, and the world's gone to shit. It's basically Mad Max meets the Lego Movie, and Emmett has refused to grow and, adapt to the new way of living that they have to, and Bricksburg has been turned to Apocalypseburg. And they decide to, make everything look like shit, because every time they build it up, there's aliens that come and they destroy their city, and they just don't see the point in it anymore. Well, they eventually get contact from this civilization from what is known as the Sistar system, and 5 of Emmett's friends are kidnapped and taken to the Sistar system, where they meet the Queen. The Queen wants to marry Batman, and hilarity ensues. Okay, so going into this movie, what were your initial thoughts? Because, you were the reason I saw the Lego Movie. I had intentions to see the movie, but it wasn't one of those things that I just, jumped to see, which I don't understand why. I just kind of missed it when it was in theater, and then you came to me with it, and you were like, we need to watch this. I fell in love with it, so considering the fact you were the person that introduced it to me, kind of interested to see what your opinion was going into this film.
Alright, so when they first announced they were doing a second Lego Movie, I was hyped. A lot of people were hesitant. I was hyped.
Right.
Because I was impressed once, so I figured, okay, you set the bar pretty high. I can understand why some people will be disappointed regardless of what you do. So, go all out, throw everything to the wall, see what sticks, and I'll go and see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of what I was expecting, them to just, unload everything.
Right.
Kind of like a kid with, a bunch of Legos and a plastic toe. You don't just pick and choose, you just...
Yeah.
All of it. All on the floor. All in front of you. And that's kind of what the sequel did.
Yeah, no, it didn't pull any punches. I was, like I said, when I was going into it, I was kind of afraid that all of the wackiness that made the first one so enjoyable, and all the randomness, you'd be in the city and there'd be an epic chase. Next thing you know, you're in the Old West for whatever reason, and there are robot banditos chasing you. And then there's another chase. I just kind of thought it wasn't going to be something like that. And I think that they kind of took the formula from the first movie flipped it on its head and pumped it up to 11.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, they had similarities with their formula, but they definitely twisted it all around to the point where it's like, okay, so I see that you're following the plot of the first one in a way, so you're probably going to go in this direction. It's like, oh, that's what you think? That's what you think? No. No, that's what you get for thinking. Shut up and watch the movie.
My favorite new character in this movie was the Queen, whatever I want to be. I like her song about how she keeps telling them she's not evil. So obviously leading you to think that she is evil, and you know she has all these nefarious kind of intentions with marrying Batman, and then eventually it comes out that, you know, she's not evil, and the entire time, the entire joke is just, no, you're obviously evil, you were saying you weren't, no, but we're not. One of the biggest things that I was afraid of when I found out that, obviously, the whole thing was going to be tied to the sister coming into play, because that's what the first one ended with, and obviously they were going to build on that. So I was kind of afraid that, for some reason, that it was just going to kind of downgrade the humor a little bit. But the humor stayed consistently, like, intelligent, smart. You could tell all the jokes were thought through. A lot of jokes had many layers to them.
There were even some tongue-in-cheek jokes just with, like, what kind of Lego figure plays what kind of character.
Yeah, yep.
Like, with the, in the Sistar system, quite a few of the characters are played by the, newer version of Lego figures that were created for the girls' line of Lego sets.
Yeah. With
Lego Friends, the skinny, lanky arms and the thin bodies. Yeah, those were made for the girl demographic.
Okay.
That's kind of where that whole vampire thing and everything came from. Yeah, all of those are actual figures.
That's cool. See, I kind of figured as much. I just wasn't sure what line it came from, because they looked like Legos, but at the same time, they didn't really look like Legos.
Yeah, it was kind of like, when we were growing up, when they made for boys the Lego series called Jack Stone.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And how weird the figures looked on that one.
Well, speaking of that, like, that was kind of what Rex Dangervest in the film kind of reminded me of.
Jack Stone, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. That's the kind of vibe I was getting from him, especially when we first met him. And then after he took his helmet off, we saw what he looked like. I was like, that looks so fucking familiar. For the most part, the original cast from the first one returns, with the exception of Morgan Freeman. I was actually kind of surprised that Will Ferrell had a little bit. I mean, he wasn't actually seen on screen, but he did some voice work. Most definitely did some voice work.
He gets some of my favorite moments in the movie, too.
For sure. And so I was actually really surprised and glad that he came back.
Speaking about the cast of characters that we did grow with in the first movie, they do get a little bit more time to shine, but not by much.
I feel like the only one that we got robbed with was the pirate.
Metalbeard,
yeah. Metalbeard. I feel like he didn't get a whole lot of... but I feel like they supplemented it with more Benny.
Yeah.
I feel like Benny got more exposure in this film. They kind of took one of my favorite characters. Well, I feel like, isn't Unikitty one of your favorites?
Oh yeah, Unikitty is one of my favorites, all-time favorites. I feel like
took one of our both of our one of our favorite characters and kind of like intensified her to the max, because I don't remember her getting all huge and shit like that.
Her head was able to grow in the first movie. She ripped apart some micromanagement bots.
But she didn't turn into a full-on, like...
Yeah. No. She didn't turn into, like, a giant battle cat of death and destruction.
But goddammit, she did here.
Yeah, it was amazing. And every time she would do a new ability, it fit with her character when she just loses it.
Yeah. I liked how in the beginning they kind of had that little joke in the beginning where the Justice League was going to go and save Bricksburg, and they were talking about how unfortunately Marvel wouldn't
return their calls.
And at first it went over my head, and then I remembered, wait, this movie's made by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has the film rights to DC.
Yep.
No wonder that Marvel, has got to stick up their ass about returning their calls. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's why we don't see any Marvel characters in any of these Lego movies. That never really dawned on me.
Yeah.
There was a new song the catchy song. This song's gonna get stuck inside your head.
Yeah, it's really good. Bruce Willis randomly shows up.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, the random Bruce Willis cameos. I just feel like that just had something to do with the fact that he just was on hand because he was filming Glass, and they're like, hey, Mr. Willis, can we put you in this movie? And Bruce Willis was probably like, yeah, alright. Fuck it, they just drowned me.
I really like that he just pops up out of left field, and the characters acknowledge it.
Yeah, and like, every instance. Like, it would just be like, plot's happening, plot. Oh, hey, Bruce Willis. And then like 30 minutes later, more plot. Oh, hey, look, there's Bruce Willis again.
Exactly. The first time that they show him, he's just there getting a spa treatment. It's... What are you doing?
She's playing with her toy, I'm sorry. So, since I'm a big, huge fan of twists in films, let's go ahead, yeah, fuck you too. Let's go ahead and talk about the twist in this one, because I was kind of surprised there was going to be one. But there was a big old twist. So Emmett is trying to go save his friends. He gets rescued himself by this guy named Rex Dangervest, who ends up being a complete and total tool. Well, come to find out that this tool is Emmett from the future. And it's what happens when Emmett actually adapts to the times and stops being Emmett. Turns out he's a big giant douchebag and a villain. And he totally gets what's coming to him in the end, which is awesome. What'd you think about that?
Well, I was really surprised by it, for one.
I'm pretty sure my face was... I feel like, didn't they kind of have like a little parody of the whole time travel trope in films where he's like, yeah, no, every time travel film ever totally makes sense.
Yeah, and they even make another joke about all time travel films, because what he used to build his device to go back.
Parts of different time traveling.
The DeLorean from Back to the Future, the telephone
TARDIS.
Booth from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the TARDIS, and the time machine from, well, the Time Machine.
Oh yeah, H.G. Wells' Time Machine.
Yeah. I also like that every single little bullet point when they introduce Rex Dangervest is a reference to
a role that
Chris Pratt has played.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. He was very self-referential. I liked his army of velociraptors. I thought that was pretty creative, especially since one of his biggest roles right now, with the exception of Star-Lord, obviously, which I would say is arguably his biggest role. But he's in the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah.
Which that was a nice, cool little reference there. I'm definitely glad they didn't take the cheap route and go with the Star-Lord reference, because that would have been too easy.
They did make one Star-Lord reference.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that it wasn't like nearly as encompassing as the Velociraptor reference.
Oh yeah, that one takes center stage.
Yeah, no, because like they even like jump out and help him fight and help him do his shady shit.
Yes, they do.
It's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. I also like the fact that they reference that scene from one of the Jurassic Park movies where the whole entire group is moving together as a unit, and then they're slowly picked off one by one.
Yeah. Yep.
I think there's a lot of good stuff in this movie.
Yeah, no, honestly, the Lego movie is... The whole series in general is just one of those things that you can't just sum it up with words, because there's just so much that goes on. There's a lot of little, in references, a lot of in jokes, a lot of layers to the jokes that you won't catch unless you experience it for yourself. And that's why I think personally that anyone that is able to and has the, appreciation for stuff like that really should go down to the theater and see it, because this is one of those movies that was clearly made for viewing in the theater. I think that'd be all the time we have for this episode. The next time we're on the couch, I promise this time it is going to be Happy Death Day to You. I know I said that the last video, but I kind of forgot this movie was coming out, so cut me some slack. I'm a little excited. But that's going to be the next one. I have a top 10 video coming here in the next month. And also happy to announce that our gaming channel is finally going to have content here soon. We started recording some Let's Play stuff. I've started editing it together, and the goal is to basically be posting on there on a day-by-day basis, at least Monday through Friday than have the weekends without posts. That gives us time to record more. But until then, Avengers Assemble.
May the force be with you.
And it's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. Take it easy, guys.